create strong cultures. It's pretty simple that in the legislature, whether that's federally or at the state level, we are always dealing with problems that can ultimately be traced back to the breakdown of the family. We have education problems, we have crime problems, we have poverty problems. What we believe is that if a few simple things happened more commonly, that the world would be a better place. And what are those things? We believe that if people got married, if they were wonderful spouses to the person that they married, and that they were great parents to the children that they were blessed with, if those things happened on a more regular basis, that the world would be a better place. Then saw fit to vote for this restoration of religious freedom standard. And those are the people who were in the Senate. Who was in the House? However, now that was 20 years ago, okay? 1993, not even controversial. Fast forward 20 years. Last August, a state version was introduced into a Senate committee just for a conversation. It wasn't during the session, so it was just kind of a, very introductory, let's see what we think about this idea of, having the federal standard for religious freedom protections applied here in Washington State. It was received very coolly by the state Senate. And why was that? The questions that they asked very specifically when it came to this high standard which required the government to show a compelling government interest before they took anybody's religious freedom away. And the questions they asked were, well, is this going to allow a florist not to provide floral services that she doesn't want to? Or would this allow a pharmacist not to sell Plan B? And that was their concern, is that this kind of protection is going to allow people to do things that we don't want them to do. So they're concerned about that. So 20 years prior, everybody was like, of course, we love freedom, we love liberty. What was the old adage of the left? We may hate what you say, but we will defend to the death your right to say it, right? You remember that. And so in 20 years, we've seen a very quick shift in the way we view this issue. Now, where does this come from? And now I'm going to editorialize, and this is a circumstantial case, and so, full disclosure, but I'm just going to tell you, you can assess for yourself whether you think this is true, but this is what I believe has happened from 1993 to 2013 that creates such a difference where the idea of religious freedom used to be something we all agreed on, regardless of our faith or no faith, whatever it is. Yeah, we believe in that. Because the left used to care about individual rights. That was the primary value of the left. Even to the point of licentiousness. That we want to be able to burn flags, be profane, do drugs, sell drugs. We want to be able to make pornography, distribute pornography, whatever we want to do as individuals. We just don't want the government telling us as individuals what to do because we are individuals and the government doesn't get to tell us what to do, right? That resonates. That was liberalism, liberty. Even to the end, and we fuddy-duddy conservatives were always accused of, being anti-liberty because we wanted to stop people from expressing themselves. That was kind of the old narrative. But what I think has happened is that we've seen a shift where the focus is no longer, the highest value of the left is no longer individual rights. Now the focus is tolerance and ending discrimination. In America and Washington State, we should still have the freedom to be different and to think differently and to make different decisions, and we can be respectful and coexist in that world, even if it's about things that we disagree about passionately. But this idea that we're going to create basically a moral code that the government's going to create, and I don't think we're that far away from a non-discrimination policy requiring to get a business license. And that in order to get a business license of any kind, you're going to have to agree with things that a lot of people can't agree with. Because right now they're clearly willing to tell lots of businesses that if you don't want to run your business the way we want you to, you have to choose between your livelihood and your conscience, which is it's just not something that free people should have to do. So, yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Give our speaker a hand.